Live finale performance of Wildflower by Billie Eilish by Lucia Flores-Wiseman on The Voice Vertical Bar NBC. Gwen Stefani's lifelong goal was to perform for crowds as a Dairy Queen cone twister and Blizzard server, long before she became a Grammy-winning music legend and beloved coach of The Voice. In an episode of The Voice from 2023, she and her fellow coaches, Reba McEntire, John Legend, and Niall Horan, discussed their pre-stardom careers. In contrast to the aspirations of a younger McEntire to become a world-renowned barrel racer and the brief stints of a college-educated legend and a management consultant who were both proficient in PowerPoint, Stefani's initial work was far more grounded. The legendary music diva and lifelong coach just came clean about her humble beginnings as an ice cream franchise cashier. "My first job was Dairy Queen," Stefani said, laughing as she related a story about her antics while working there. As the coaches were talking about first employment, Stefani brought up a strategy she used to get Dairy Queen goodies when she was a teenager. Stefani would accidentally make a mistake when making blizzards or operating the soft serve machine. "If you make a mistake, it's okay," people would say while I was back there. "Freeze it immediately." Stefani remembers the offer with a mischievous grin. Stefani proceeded to mimic the steps of constructing a blizzard in the wrong way. "Oops. Oops," I said. She and her No Doubt bandmate perhaps got a little too carried away with the ice cream during rehearsals because a fudged blizzard order turned out to be a complimentary employee treat. While she is now famous as the captivating lead singer of No Doubt and a chart-topping artist, her early years were filled with soft serve and the formation of friendships that would change her life. Gwen Stefani is well known all over the world. She was a major pop phenomenon in the 90s and beyond. Her distinctive sound, which combines elements of ska pop and rock with an edgy manner, has made her an indelible part of popular culture. Still, many admirers may be unaware of the humble beginnings that lie beneath the glitz and glamour of the celebrity. Gwen Stefani's first employment was at Dairy Queen, which was a typical and relatable position for someone her age before No Doubt became a viral sensation. The surprising link to the groundbreaking band No Doubt, however, makes this otherwise ordinary part of her life fascinating. A first job for Gwen in her early years. Gwen Stefani was a regular teen trying to make it before she rocked a ruby lip and bleach blonde locks. Gwen got her start in the profession at the neighborhood Dairy Queen while she was a high school student in Anaheim, California. I think a lot of people can relate to this. That first job when you're trying to make ends meet, find your footing, and figure out what you want out of life. Behind the counter, Gwen served ice cream and other typical Dairy Queen treats to customers, but that wasn't all she did for a living. It was a pivotal moment that affected her trajectory in numerous ways going forward. Her early exposure to responsibility and the value of a regular work schedule laid the groundwork for a future in the entertainment industry, where grit and determination are paramount. There is No Doubt, an upcoming band. Even though No Doubt is now a worldwide sensation, when Gwen was an employee at Dairy Queen they weren't. A bunch of enthusiastic young musicians still searching for their signature sound, the band was in its early stages of formation. Curiously, though, a link to the music industry existed already. Bassist Tony Kanal, an integral part of No Doubt, was very close with Gwen. Indeed, Gwen's introduction to the music industry that would pave the way to her fame came from Kanal. Tony and Gwen had been friends for a long time, and it was during their high school years in the early 1980s that the idea for No Doubt was born. Gwen was enthralled by Tony's music when he had just begun playing bass. Even though she hadn't figured out how to get from her day job at Dairy Queen to her desire of being a creative, you could always hear Gwen talking about it. Gwen and her brother Eric Stefani were quickly introduced to the expanding group of musicians that became No Doubt. It was a combination of luck and fate that led to Gwen joining No Doubt as lead singer following several failed auditions. Suddenly, everything was coming together for a breakthrough and immensely popular band from the 90s. An association with Dairy Queen. The relationship between No Doubt and Gwen Stefani's employment at Dairy Queen becomes quite intriguing at this point. No Doubt's debut album came out in 1992, but the band went through a lot of ups and downs, including lineup changes, before they finally found their sound and the world heard them. Tell me how this relates to Dairy Queen. In an odd sense, Gwen's stint at Dairy Queen was more than simply a job. It was a formative experience that instilled in her the work ethic and dedication to her goals that would be crucial to the success of No Doubt and their subsequent efforts. Furthermore, the position allowed her to interact with others from many backgrounds, which helped her develop stronger interpersonal skills and increase her self-assurance. Gwen honed her public speaking abilities in the welcoming customer service setting, which came in handy when she eventually had to perform in front of an audience of thousands. It's normal to feel sentimental about your first job because of the impact it had on shaping your personality and career trajectory. Although it was a long cry from the glamorous life of a superstar, Gwen's time at Dairy Queen taught her humility, perseverance, and patience. It wasn't easy for No Doubt to get where they are now. Much like Gwen at Dairy Queen, the band played innumerable performances and recorded track after track before they finally broke through. An undeniable revolution. No Doubt's breakthrough came after a long and arduous journey, but there's magic in those serendipitous moments when everything falls into place. Dairy Queen was Gwen Stefani's first taste of fame, and a fortuitous meeting with Tony Kanal cemented her position in the band. Tragic Kingdom, No Doubt's third studio album, was released in 1996 and catapulted the band to superstardom on a global scale. The songs Just a Girl, Don't Speak, and Spiderwebs were instantly iconic, and Gwen Stefani was one of the most famous artists of her time due to her strong voice and unabashedly eccentric personality. The fact that Gwen's Dairy Queen work had a subtle but significant impact on her rise to fame is something that many admirers might be unaware of. Her dogged pursuit of musical greatness was inspired by the focus and commitment she showed on the job. Despite the band's initial struggles to gain recognition, Gwen never shied away from devoting herself fully to their success, having learned the importance of hard effort. Past Dairy Queen, the birth of a star. The meteoric climb to fame that No Doubt and Gwen Stefani had is legendary. No Doubt won over millions of listeners with their distinctive ska punk pop rock sound, which they showcased on albums like Return of Saturn and Tragic Kingdom. Gwen became a trailblazer and an inspiration to innumerable admirers with her daring wardrobe choices, energetic performances, and expressive vocals. Gwen has maintained an admirably modest demeanor despite her notoriety, constantly reflecting on her career's infancy. Although her current lifestyle is incredibly lavish, she will never forget her humble beginnings working at Dairy Queen. She has mentioned in interviews how her experience in the workforce taught her perseverance and determination, qualities that she has carried over into her music career. Final thoughts. Beyond Dairy Queen and into No Doubt. Despite how little it may appear, Gwen Stefani's initial employment at Dairy Queen was actually a pivotal moment in her remarkable career. It speaks volumes about the character she possessed and possesses even now. Gwen brought her work ethic, devotion, and enthusiasm for her profession from her stint at the Dairy Queen counter with her on her No Doubt adventure.